What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Mandalorian Episode 5 breakdown and review. After last week, Boba is ready for war against the Pikes, but he needs some hired muscle, and as expected, the Mandalorian turns up. I mean, that music is so damn iconic, and I was not expecting a whole episode focusing on the Mandalorian. But he opens the episode looking like an absolute G, hunting a target, and he goes absolutely mad with the Lightsaber, which looks stunning in live action once again. I have to say, I really loved him returning, and it did feel like a completely different show. While I love the Book of Boba Fett, have to say this did take it to another level. I loved how he said, "I can bring you in cold to the guy," which, well, he did, and the rest of the people just accept that their boss has been killed and take the credits that Mando can't take. It was so badass him turning up. It's quite rare we get something we were expecting right off the bat, and, well, exactly what we want, as he's on what looks like a halo ray. I have to wonder, was he blinded by its majesty? Was he dumbstruck? I probably butchered that quote, but you get the point. Or was it that world from that movie Elysium, as he goes to take the bounty to the people speaking Huttese, but he's eager just to turn in his bounty and heads off to find the hidden Mandalorian armorer on this ring world. It seems this is where they went after the battle where pretty much most of them died. And have to say, oh my god, did the shot of the armorer on the lower part of the world look absolutely stunning as Mando walks in and falls to his feet, hurt from the fight with the Lightsaber. Now we see Paz Vizsla, and the minute I saw that on the captions, I thought, yeah, we're going to get a duel. We learn that there is only about 3 of these Mandalorians left, and it turns out Boba was hurt by the Lightsaber, like I said, putting this quite close to the end of last season, and they discuss the history of the Lightsaber. Of course, it has to be won in combat, and the armourer mentions that it was made by Tar Vizsla, and he's finally completed his mission. He's allowed to join them, and I really liked how or at least she said, that Mandalore lasted 10,000 years, while the Empire lasted just 30. It was so cool hearing this Mandalore history, and we've got some of the best moments, I think, that we have had this season. The armourer asks about the Beskar spear, which was given to him, and must now be destroyed, as it's the only thing that can absolutely destroy Beskar armour. And we get the thing I've waited for so long, since Clone Wars, since Rebels, and Mando asks about Bo-Katan, and we finally get a look at the Night of 1,000 Tears. Luckily, Mando's sect were on Concordia when it happened, allowing them to survive the Purge, and Bo-Katan failed Mandalore in the eyes of this armourer, and she did not win the Lightsaber in battle, but was simply given it, as we saw in the kind of expanded animated shows. Now, the Great Purge has only been mentioned, and we never really got to see the fall of Mandalore. But we got the badass TIE bombers in this flashback, and they attack Mandalore and the Dome. If you are interested in this, then I would highly recommend checking out Rebels and the Clone Wars. It truly was a sight to behold, this flashback, and I'm sure a lot of you really enjoyed it. It seems Mando might be the person to lead the Mandalorians and restore the Empire, but Paz Vizsla takes umbrage with this during training, and he goes to duel Din, and they have a really good fight on the platform, but Din wins, of course, and is asked if he has ever removed his helmet, which is against the creed, and he's marked as not being a Mandalorian, which seems pretty cheap at Get Out, unless he heads to the mines of Mandalore, which are destroyed, so he can never really join the sect, despite being the wielder of the Lightsaber. It's a really harsh thing for there, and Bo-Katan did warn him against them, and I expect he may hunt her down again. I did wonder how he would return to Tatooine, what would bring him back there, as I was surprised that he was going to return in Book of Boba. I thought they would save him for his own show. I thought it'd just even be a bit part if he did return, but he heads to a Starliner to Tatooine, and I found it funny that he even stows the Lightsaber, which is a bit iffy there, but he's heading off to get a new ship. I wonder if Grogu will still get his Beskar armor, despite Din being told to go and kick rocks. I mean, how much fan art of Grogu in Beskar will now become canon? And how adorable was it that he had the cloth-shaped Grogu to keep him company? I expect Season 3 of The Mandalorian could feature him killing Moff Gideon, as it was mentioned that he's in the custody of the New Republic, and I expect that the New Republic may want to do a deal to try and hunt down the rest of the Imperial remnants. Now we cut to everyone's favourite mechanic as we see her chase down a monster with a BD unit, and I did think Cal Kestis may appear, but that did suck, because I got very hyped there as the BD unit first appeared in Star Wars Fallen Order, which is so cool, especially as we're getting a Fallen Order 2. And I cracked up at her saying, "Hey look, everyone, it's Mando." And I can't unhear Princess Carolyn from BoJack Horseman. He's there to get a replacement for the Razor Crest. I mean, I've only just got the Razor Crest Lego, and now I'm having to get a Naboo Starfighter, which was really awesome to see. And it was nice to hear that it was handmade with no droids. And I wonder if this was a cheeky dig at the sequels there, which were pretty much written by committee. I love how she talks it up like we talked up the prequels, as they're made by George Lucas, and the sequels are so hated. And the Jawa trading is explored as they just take a list and go get what you want, which was pretty damn funny. And it's confirmed now that they're furry, which isn't what I was expecting. I always wondered what they looked like, and we get a reference to the Pikes, and the Jawas stole part of a Pike ship, I think it was, and it said how they're running the galaxy with their spice running and ruining it, as the N1 is fixed and is in the colours of Mando, steel or grey. And it turns out that this glorious Naboo Starfighter rides once again, the first time since the prequels. It made me laugh as he's riding through the canyon, and it really did remind me of the pod racers and that pod racing scene in The Phantom Menace, as we even get like a shot of him opening it up, and we meet the kid from before in this episode, which was a nice callback when he's flying before being hailed by the X-Wings, and he's asked to run a beacon. However, we get to see the officer from the previous Mandalorian season, and he wants to ask him a few questions about being the owner of the Razor Crest. And I found it funny that he just dips straight away. It does suck we're not getting a Rangers of the New Republic show, but, well, there is a reason for that. I'm not going to go into that, not going to take a side. This is just a joyous celebration of this episode. But finally, we get a reference to Book of Boba in the last minutes of the episode, as Fennec Shand comes to offer him to work for Boba Fett. However, he says he wants to go and see a little guy first. So I wonder if the next episode is going to be him going to find Grogu, which is really weird because it's the Book of Boba Fett. Is this like, an intermission or something in the book? Or is this the middle appendix or something like that? I don't know. But overall, it was a really, really good episode. I have to say, this felt better. It felt a lot better. But then again, we've had 2 seasons of him so far, so there is that kind of attachment to him. But it was absolutely metal as fuck. Now, one thing I thought of just as I had finished the video and clicked export is that, well, the lightsaber is really heavy, or the Darksaber is really heavy, which means he needs proper training, and this means that he's off to find his little friend. But I wonder if Luke Skywalker will actually train Din in how to use the Darksaber. I think that would be really, really darn cool if he did teach him how to use the Darksaber and then go on to, well, I don't know, unite the Mandalorians once more. It'd be fun to watch to see that happen. And I wonder if we will get to see more Luke Skywalker. The actor who did play him was one of the X-Wing pilots in the episode as well, so pretty neat. However, that is it for this video. Please drop a like down below, do subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.